Everyone, I welcome you once again to tonight's episode of the 3 month challenge that we are doing. We are just trying to know the tricks involved in graphic design. This is Keja Graphic Academy. If you are right here hearing my voice, don't forget to subscribe to this family. So today I want us to pay attention to this simple piece. Okay, it's a kind of motivational quote that we are designing, but the main theme of what we are trying to achieve is how to come about this. Okay, how do I achieve this particular shape by creating a kind of clipping marks with an images. Okay, so that is our focus for tonight. So let's quickly dive in as we look at it. So now let me quickly off my layer and we start together. If today is your first time on the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Okay, so now we have come to our layer, which comes by default. So the actual size that I am using is, when you go to this panel here, you hit on that panel, you go to image size. Okay, the image size will take you to the size column. Okay, as a graphic designer, anytime you are being called to design something, the first thing you need to do is to take a measurement of the thing. You need to take a measurement of the thing after taking all the necessary questions that you will need from your client. The next thing is you need to take a measurement, unless it's a social media post. That is where you can just use a square. Okay, are you together? So now, so this is the size that I am using. So take notice. So 2000 for what width and 3500 for the height. Okay, now let's go. So now we have our canvas. So the next thing that we will need to do is to go and pick the background. Okay, so we'll hit on the tool as usual, which will take us to the import. And when you hit import, then the import will take you to your gallery as usual. Then you will see or pick your background. Okay, so as after picking our background, then we hit down. Then we stretch it, position it. Okay, let's take note again. You make use of this, not this one, not these ones, but rather this one. Okay, so now you stretch it, then you position it well, so you have something like this. Okay, now the next thing that you need to do is to lock your layer. After locking your layer, then you will now go to your shape tool, this very one here. Then you pick your shape. So we are picking a shape like this, something like this. Then we hit done. Are you following? Then the next thing that we will need to do again is to do what? Pick our shape tool. Okay, so after picking our shape tool, let's make it an equal size, which someone can quickly use a faster approach by what? Doubling the first one. Anyway, whichever way you use, you will still achieve the same result. Okay, but it is good you know the two tactics or the strategies or the techniques in designing this particular piece. Okay, so now let's quickly go on. So the two shapes that we have, we will position this one or rotate it using this particular node here to rotate it. Then we position it, let's rotate it a bit again. Then we have something like this, let's stretch it again. Then we have something like this. Okay, now the next thing that we will need to do is to change the color for this very one. Okay, and leave this one down. We change the color for this one and leave this one down, which means we will not change the color for this, but only this one that will be changing the color for. So now we select it. Anytime you select a layer or you select an element of graphic design on the canvas, or you select a shape, notice that these nodes will be activated around the layers or around the elements. Okay, so the next thing you will need to do is to go to your color tool, which is this very one here. Then you hit on your color tool, you enable it, then you have a color like this. We can go with this color. Actually, it is not the main focus, so we can maintain that. Okay, then we now have two shapes, this and this, this and this. Okay, now let's go to our layer panel. Then we'll try to match the two layers. Okay, so as usual, these two right here will help you to match your layers. So now you hit on it, then you select the two layers you want to match. Then after selecting it, then you will hit this particular property or tool, which will help you to merge it. So as you can see, they're asking, are you sure you want to merge selected object? You said okay. Okay, then you hit okay. Then you can see the two layers have been merged into one layer. So that is what we are just doing. So now let's go back quickly. Now, meaning we now have two layers in one. Is that clear? Now the next thing that we will need to do is to go to our erase color. Okay, we take our erase color. Then as we pick our erase color, then we'll enable it. Then as we enable it, then you will have one color gone, but the normal color or the actual color that we want to do away with is what? The red, not the white that is gone. So as you are in this tool, which is the erase color tool, kindly pay attention here. You pick your eye drop tool, which is this very one. Then as you pick your eye drop tool, then it will help you to select the part that you want to do away with. So we want to do away with the red. So as you select it, then you will hit done. Then as you hit done here, then the white will now be back, but the red is gone. So now then you hit done. Now we now have our tool here like this. Are you following? So we now have our tool here like this. Now the next thing that we will do is to do what? To copy. So as we are done copying, then we will need to flip it horizontally. So for us to achieve that, we will go to a tool called crop. Even crop, the function of crop actually is not what we are coming to do, but it is in the crop that we can achieve the flipping. That is why we are using that tool. Okay, don't forget, graphic design is all about creativity, making or finding your way around it. So now, as I said, let's continue. So you hit your crop tool. Then in the crop tool, you will see this very tool here, which is you want to flip horizontal. Okay, then as you hit that one, you can see it is being flipped horizontal. Then you now have something like this. So you can now do what? Position it to the end. Okay, now if you want to really check if the whole thing is in the proper alignment, then you can take your grid line, this very one here, which will help you to know if what you are doing is in a proper alignment. This very one here, this one. Okay, so you hit on that, then it will now give you a proper guideline, so you can now reposition everything well. Okay, so now we are good to go. Now let's take off the grid, go to the layer panel, lock them up. So we are done locking them up. Okay, are you following? So now let's go back. The next thing that we will be doing is to do what? Take our shape tool again. We do what? Position it this way. Then we have something like this. Let's bring this one up a bit. Okay, what I am just doing is that I am making use of this particular node to position them. So if you want the shape to go to this direction, then you make use of this. If you want it to go to this direction, you make use of this node. Okay, node. Okay, but if you want it to go to this direction, then you will hit this particular node. But if you want it to come to this direction, then you make use of this. But if you want to evenly expand the whole shape, that is why you make use of this particular node, which will expand the whole shape evenly. Are we together? Okay, so now let's move on. Now we will need to merge these three layers. Now let's go back to our grid for us to have a proper alignment again, once again. So now this is okay. So now the next thing that we need to do is to do what? Pick our tool or go to the layer panel. Then we'll try merging what? This layer, this and this into what? One layer. Is that clear? So now let's go back. Now we all know this is what will help us to do that, to merge layers. So we hit on that, select the layer you want to merge, hit on this, which will help you to merge it. Then as you hit on that, then all the three layers are being merged into one layer now. This is our background. Is that correct? Thank you. Now if today is your first time, don't forget to subscribe. Now the next thing we will need to do, as this is in one layer now, the next thing we need to do is to change the color. Okay, let's change the color. So as we change the color, we can maintain this color. Is not bad. Actually, as I said, we don't really need the color. The next thing we do is to take the shape again. Then we'll have something like this. Hit done, go to the layer panel and bring this one on top. If you don't know how to move layers, you will see this dot here. You long press on it, then you move it anywhere you want to move it, upward or what? Downward. Is that clear? This is Kejak Graphics. Consider subscribing to the channel. Let's move on. So now the next thing you will need to do is position it well on it. Let's make it a bit small. Then you reposition it well. Then also let's make this one also up. Then we have something like this. Okay, let's make something like this. Let's bring this one down, make this one up. All we are doing is trying to work with the positioning. Okay, I hope it is clear. No one is confused, right? That is good. Okay, so now we have this perfect shape. Now kindly listen, we are going to merge it again. That is why I said today's whole class is to educate us on how to really merge layers. I know we have done slightly some of them in the past, but today this is our main focus. So now let's continue. So we will merge it. We merge these two. We hit merge. Okay, then we go back to the layer. So now you see all of them is being merged now. We cannot make it a bit big. Okay, now we have something like this. Is that clear? Now the next thing that we will need to do is to go to our erase color. Did you guess it well? That is it. You are on the right path. Now we go to the erase color. Then you will enable it. As usual, that is not the color we want to do away with. So you take our eyedrop tool. Then we will hit done. Here, then we have something like this. Do you see that? Now, kindly pay attention here. The next thing that we will need to do is to go to our import. As we go to the import, then we will now pick the various elements which are the images that we will need. So this is the very first one that we will need. Okay, but kindly take notice here, we need to crop it a bit so that it can fit into the window that we have created in the shape. Okay, so now this is all about the positioning to make sure it is properly aligned to the shape. Okay, so now you will go to your layer panel. Then as you are in your layer panel, then you will do a repositioning world to all the layers in the panel. So you will move this one down, and as I said, before you move it down, you long press it. Then as you long press it, then you can now make your movement now. Take notice of that. Are you following? Is something bothering you? Make use of the comment section. Now we bring this one down. Okay, as we bring this one down, then you can have something like this. Is that clear? Now let's make this one a bit small. Okay, let's make it a bit small. Let's make sure we have something like this. Then we hit done. Is that clear? Then we can now go back and lock it. We can equally lock this one too. Then we go back. Now we have something like this. Are we following? So the next thing that we will do, go to import our next resources. Okay, now no, this is not the next one. This is not the next one. I'm sorry about that. Now let's quickly go to the import again. Then we will select the next one. I believe it's this one. Anyway, let's go with this one. It's also not bad. Now let's crop it a bit. Have something like this. Okay, then you position it well, then you also rotate it a bit. Okay, position it a bit, then you have something like this. Okay, so next we go to the panel. Position it well. Okay, so okay, so let's do import our next resources again. You know, it can be a bit challenging. Okay, it can be a bit challenging. So the next thing that you will do is to try to position it well. Okay, position for side to side, downward and upward also. So the next thing that you will do, it is involving. Now I quickly have to teach this. We call this particular sign a zoom sign. We all know as it is. We have something like this. Okay, as a magnifier. Okay, so you can see it is called what? Zoom. Not the zoom that we use to do class. Are we together? But this particular one, you use it to zoom a particular portion. So for example, when you hit on it, then you can now use your two fingers to zoom it. Okay, it's probably you are coming to right here, something that is, it will be tiny. You can zoom this particular area like this. Okay, then you will hit, watch carefully, you will hit this side, not this side. Then as you hit that side, then you can now continue to pick your tools. For example, you tools and do what? Position your whatever you want to write here. Please, are you getting what I hope you are getting what I'm saying. Okay, this is just for, by the way, but this is not what we are doing anyway. But I'm just teaching on or bringing another tool inside. This is how you achieve it. You understand? So kindly pay attention with that or to that. So now let's quickly go back. This is not what we are doing anyway. Okay, so now the next thing that we'll be doing is to go with our test tool As we go to our test tool, then we can now type what? Our name there, our this thing there, not our name but our this thing there first, which is the Ahafianyo. Okay, it's a kind of like a signature to what we are writing. Okay, so we position it well, then we try to do our adjustment to it by playing with the boldness. Go to the font also, then you choose chunk 5. This is chunk 5. I love chunk 5. I love that font very well. We all know that typography are in different font. Now the next thing that you will need to do is to go to stroke, enable it, then you go to color, then you choose this particular color. I really love this. Okay, or you can choose any color of your choice, and you can also increase the stroke here by this. Is that confusing? Thank you. You said no. Let's continue. So now we have something like this. Okay, now the next thing that we'll do is to take our shape tool again, have something like this, position it well. Okay, have something like this, position it well, then we are good to go. Okay, now the next thing that we need to do, take our shape tool, test tool again, then we will do what? Hit double click inside. I said from the beginning that this is not really our attention, but how to come about the windows that we create and put the pictures inside. That is the main focus, but for us to just use it to be creative in it in a designing form, that is why we are adding all these things to it. But nevertheless, that is what you are expected to do. So you start it from A and you complete it to Z. Away following. Now let's go to our spacing. Let's space it. Then we have something like this. Then we can now go and position it well so that it will be well positioned. Right now we now have something like this. So I have your new motivation. Then the next thing that we can do is to take our shape tool again. Okay, then we position it well. Okay, position it well. Then we have something like this. Then we change the color of it to gradient. Then we pick this particular gradient. Can you pay attention? If you really want to do a match work, then pick that gradient. Then we hit done. Then you can now go to your test tool again. Then this time we are going with quotes. We are going with quote, not test. Are you getting the point now? Then as you go with quote, then we can go with any quote you see. So they said believe in yourself. Okay, let's position it well and let's read it together. They said what? They said what? They said what? They said believe in yourself, right? They said believe in yourself, have faith in your abilities, without a humble but reasonable confidence in your own powers, you cannot be successful or happy. I think that makes sense, right? So now let's go for another quote again. Let's pick this one also. Okay, as for the quote, don't really say it should match. As for the quote, don't really say it should match, but just follow the rhythm of what we are doing and try to achieve the same thing, then we are good to go. Is that clear? Now we can now position this one also. So we also have this. They say what? Be impeccable with your word, speak with integrity, say only what you mean, avoid using the word to speak against yourself, okay, or to gossip about others. Use the power of your word in the direction of truth and love. The other day I was cautioning us on the page that we should not use negative words whenever we attempt an assignment. People will be like, I know I did a rubbish work, I know I do this. No. You have done your best, and trust me, it is a process. So this has brought us to the end of our class for today. As I said from the beginning, if you are yet to subscribe to the channel, kindly do so and be part of this lovely family. because there is more to unveil. There is more to unveil. Trust me. Okay. Teja Graphics Academy. Sign out.